Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching Oman News. First, the headlines. In response to an invitation by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Majesty the King of Spain shall tomorrow start a three-day official visit to the Sultanate. Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council reviews state's financial status, general budget position and oil price expectations. The Shura Council approves amendments of vehicle insurance law and provisions of capital market law. And pisciculture, by applying floating cages mechanism, opens the door wider for new fisheries investments in the Governorate of Musandam. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty King Juan Carlos of Spain shall tomorrow, Tuesday, start a three-day official visit to the Sultanate. The Diwan of the Royal Court issued a statement stating that culminating strong friendship relations existing between the Sultanate and the Kingdom of Spain, and in response to a cordial invitation by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Majesty King Juan Carlos I of Spain shall make a three-day official visit to the Sultanate starting tomorrow, Tuesday, the 29th of April 2014. The visit comes in pursuit of the leadership of both countries to upgrade the level of existing cooperation to a wider horizon to achieve further joint interest for Omani and Spanish peoples. His Majesty the King will be accompanied by an official delegation comprising His Excellency Pedro Moreniz, Minister of Defense, Her Excellency Ana Maria Julian, Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, His Excellency Jose Moya Lopez, Minister of Industry, Energy and Tourism, His Excellency Rafael Spotorono, Head of Royal Diwan, His Excellency Juan Jose Iro, Spain's accredited ambassador to the Sultanate, His Excellency Aldon Gonzalo de Beneto, Under Secretary of Ministry of the Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Jimmy Garcia Legas, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Trade, and His Excellency Manuel Nino, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Public Works and Infrastructure. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty King William Alexander of the Netherlands on his birthday. Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council reviewed state's financial status and results of government accounts for the first quarter of the year, general budget position and oil prices expectations. The meeting also dealt with reports related to activities of State's General Reserve Fund, or Money Investment Fund, and return of the investments, in addition to a report prepared by the Ministry of Finance regarding financial results for the year 2013 in light of final accounts which indicated average oil and gas productions, overall government revenues, general spending and status of general debt and financial reserves. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Darwish bin Ismail al-Balushi, Minister responsible for Financial Affairs and Deputy Chairman of the Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council. Shura Council has approved during its 19th session a number of changes in insurance law. More details in the following report by Saif bin Khalfan al-Kindi.
A long-term discussion has been witnessed today at Shura Council, focusing on amending vehicles insurance law based on the point of views raised via the Economical and Financial Committee. The adaptation in insurance law considered increasing the capital of insurance companies to reach 10 million and change them to be shareholding companies. Meanwhile, all members accepted the recommendation on establishing fund for assisting injured people in some complicated accidents that took time to appoint the party that caused accidents. Another suggestion was discussed during today's debate, delegating Royal Oman Police to compensate owners of cancelled cars. During the debate, it was also suggested many serious fines against spreading rumors in markets that may affect investors' decisions when buying shares. The fines may reach between 20 to 50,000 Omani riyals. The Shura Council also approved the transportation agreement between the Sultanate and Jordan that will facilitate road cargo between the two countries. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Muscat.
His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Asafi Al-Harabi, Chairman of the Tender Board, stressed that the board awarded projects relating to information technology and telecommunications. This came when he presided over a second international conference for telecommunication and applied information technology in Middle East College. A number of officials took part in the conference to focus on efforts exerted by the government and private bodies in the development of this field. It also highlighted challenges that face IT sector while stressing on the significance of coming up with proper strategies during the next period. Consultancy services and designs will be soon ready to develop fishing harbors in Khasab, Lima, Daba and Kamsar in the Governorate of Musandam to be capable for commercial and touristic purposes. That was announced by His Excellency Hamad bin Said Al-Aufi and the Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth for Fisheries Wealth, who also said in a statement to Sultan of Oman Radio and Television that tenders for these seaports shall be offered by the end of this year. He also added that these ports will be sizable for multi-purpose use, such as for fishing, tourism, national ferries and Coast Guard police, as well as commercial jetty, if there will be any need for commercial exchange. The fourth seminar of Gulf Archaeological, organized by the Ministry of Heritage and Culture, was launched today. It discussed the most important archaeological discoveries in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, besides the role of old ports in bringing GCC culture and customs close through archaeological gains. The seminar also tackles trade, economic and cultural interaction of GCC countries with neighbors. During the seminar, presentations were delivered showcasing discoveries in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries and reviewing their results. The seminar embodies the deep-rooted culture and history of the GCC region, targeting the last survey conducted there and the trade and marine transport between the GCC countries and their neighbors. The expanded immunization program organized by the Ministry of Health enabled to cover more than 99% of infants and children under 5 years. This was mentioned on the sideline of the Sultan celebrations of the 5th World Immunization Week, which was hosted by Sultan Qaboos University Hospital under the theme of "Is Your Vaccination Complete?" An accompanying exhibition included guidance booklets and brochures, provided its information in a simple way, which aimed to aware parents of the necessity of immunizing their children. The exhibition also included the inauguration of e-program to recall the dates of immunization. The celebration included also lectures and clarified shows aimed to stress the importance of immunizations and reviewed highlighted results achieved by expanded immunization week. Still to come in our news bulletin, the Sultan continued to provide aid relief for the Syrian refugees in Jordan. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The main committee for monitoring implementation of agreement of eliminating discrimination against women, CEDAW, held its first meeting for the current year under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Saeed Al Kalbani, Minister of Social Development. The meeting discussed a number of topics, namely the proposal of National Strategic Project for Omani Women that aimed to activate women's role and merge her requirements in development program. It also reviewed March of Women in the Sultanate. The government gave women the opportunity to participate in social and economic development. Providing a high-quality academic educational environment for handicrafts cadres and transforming handicrafts to young generations, besides helping them in establishing their handicraft projects with the aim to raise up the level of the economic income, were most important topics discussed at the 7th meeting of the main committee of the project of Ajal College for Handicraft Industries, Sciences and Traditional Professions. The meeting also discussed basic principles of college construction and architectural contents of the project. It was presided over by Her Excellency Sheikh Aisha bint Khalfan Siyabiya, Chairperson of Public Authority for Craft Industries and Chairperson of the main committee for the project. The Omani Association at the Queensland in Australia organized Oman Arab Jewel exhibition, which was opened by the Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences at Queensland University. It included various sections that shed light on Omani traditions, namely pottery, jewellery and traditional cloths. It attracted visitors from different nationalities to get acquainted with the Omani society. It was accompanied by a cultural evening that focused on poetry. Finding effective solutions to issues and challenges that face banking sector topped matters that were discussed at the annual meeting of Chief Executive Officers and officials of commercial banks working in the Sultanate. They also exchanged views towards matters of effect on banking industry in the Sultanate, as well as strong cooperation and continuous coordination between the Central Bank of Oman, its departments and units, and the banking system. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Hamoud bin Sangur Azijali, Executive President of the Central Bank of Oman, who confirmed that last year was successful for the banking sector, which witnessed positive growth in deposits, loans and profits. He mentioned that banks were able to preserve a good level of capital and were abided by laws of Basel III Agreement concerning capital adequacy, which was issued by the Central Bank of Oman in November. Muscat Securities Market MSM General Index today added 31.60 points, comprising a rise by 0.47% to close at 6748.72 points. The trading value today stood at 27.84 million Omani Riyals, comprising a decline by 13.81% compared to the last session, which stood at 32.30 million Omani Riyals. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value rose by 0.49% since to reach about 14.3 billion Omani Riyals. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the government of Buraymi held a meeting which gathered His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Salim Al Masrouri, Chief Executive Officer of Public Authority for Stores and Food Reserves and Foodstuff Merchants. They discussed how to face challenges of food security and the role of the authority to provide basic foodstuff goods, as well as introducing available projects, particularly in establishing stores, marketing and distributing foodstuff. They also covered foodstuff investment projects, the sky's trade problem, a price hike and lack of some foodstuff, for which solutions were presented. The authority displayed its future plan to uplift foodstuff sector. Asphalting internal roads in new residential site plans and housing of expatriate workers in the middle of residential districts were at the top of the meeting of Municipal Council of the Government of South Al-Batina. The meeting also discussed numerous matters put up by members, including quality of health services provided by health institutions, environmental issues such as drinking water, contamination and spread of diseases in some wilayas of the governorate. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the government of Musandam organized a seminar on pisciculture by floating cages. The Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth planned to establish a project for pisciculture in a coastal village. The project will contribute in economic development. The seminar gathered fishermen and bodies concerned to discuss the significance of pisciculture in food production and achievement of food safety, while highlighting the economic field. The work papers presented tackled the role of researchers in the development of pisciculture and related projects. The Sultan continued to provide its aid relief for the Syrian refugees in Jordan. More than 100,000 refugees are sheltered at Zaatari camp in the Jordanian province Mafriq, nearby Syrian borders, where a number of countries provided aid relief under the umbrella of the United Nations Commission for Refugees in cooperation with the Jordanian government. The Sultan provided tents, mobile houses and other relief. A division in the camp now is known as Omani, which is the biggest one in the area and population. The refugees still hope that the official of Omani division in the camp will provide some other facilities such as school, baking ovens and more tents. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the Sultan. Winds will be northwest light to moderate and seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. In response to an invitation by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Majesty the King of Spain shall tomorrow start a 3-day official visit to the Sultan. Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council reviews state's financial status, general budget position and oil price expectations. The Shura Council approves amendments to vehicle insurance law and provisions of capital market law. And pisciculture, by applying floating cages mechanism, opens the door wider for new fisheries investments in the governorate of Musandam. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the studios and the newsroom, thanks for your company. Good night.